is the House of Mystery. This is Roger Elliott, otherwise known as the Mystery Man, welcoming you to another storytelling session here at the House of Mystery. Beware the night of Halloween, when ghosts and goblins creep and glide. Beware the night of Halloween, when witches ride. Yes, next Wednesday, October 31st, is Halloween. But here at the House of Mystery, we're celebrating Halloween today. Now, for the benefit of our radio listeners, I think I should describe how our meeting room is decorated. Ruth and Marilyn and a few of the other girls spent all morning fixing it up for our Halloween party. There are black witches on broomsticks riding across the ceiling, the skeletons dancing along the walls, a great big spooky owl perched on top of my bookcase, and a tremendous jack-o'-lantern hanging from the light fixture in the center of the room. Yes, it looks like we're going to have quite a party. Oh, incidentally, Ruth, what's that big bowl of water on the table?
Well, we're going to bob for apples. You know, you put some apples in the water, and then you stick your face in the bowl and try to pick up an apple with your teeth.
And the one who picks up an apple gets it, is that it?
Yes, but most of the time, all you get is a wet face.
Well, at least Johnny will get his face washed painlessly. Did your mother bake that wonderful Halloween cake on the table, Ruth?
Yes, and it has fortunes in it.
Fortune?
Yes, there's a key and a ring and a penny, a button, a thimble, and a lot of other things baked right into the cake. And when we cut it later and we give everybody a piece of it, whatever they get in their piece tells their fortune.
What happens if I get the ring?
Well, that means you're going to get married soon.
Well, what does a penny mean?
It means you're going to be rich.
Oh, boy, that's for me.
I've got a list of all the fortunes here. I copied them out of the Halloween book.
Oh, we should have a lot of fun with that cake. Hey, what's in that box on the table?
Oh, I forgot. There's some toasteroons that my mother made.
Some toaster what?
Johnny, you got a memory about as long as a flea's whisker. Don't you remember last Saturday Ruth was telling us about some wonderful cookies her mother makes out of Post Toasties?
Oh, yeah. The recipe's on the side of the Post Toasties box.
That's right. They're called Toasteroons. They look wonderful, Ruth.
Well, there are 3 different kinds, Mr. Man. Some with lemon flavor, and some with dates, and some with nuts.
May I have one?
Oh, certainly, of course.
Thank you.
Shall I pass them around now?
Well, you'd better, or Johnny's tongue will drop right out of his mouth.
May I have one, please,
Yes, here's one.
Gee, thanks. I'll take a lemon.
I have one of the
They're
best
awfully
kinds.
good. Thanks. You're welcome.
Well, they taste as wonderful as they look. I'm sorry we can't pass Ruth's Toasteroons to everyone who's listening in because they're really delicious. How about it, Johnny?
They're swell. They're better than candy.
Are they very hard to make, Ruth?
Oh, no, they're very easy. You just follow the recipe on the side panel of the Post Toasties box. Anyone can make them.
Did you hear that, all you House of Mystery radio listeners? Ruth says the Toasteroons are easy to make. All you do is follow the simple recipe on the side panel of the Post Toasties box. And they really are delicious. Crisp and crunchy and toasty brown, just like Post Toasties themselves.
Oh, they sure are good.
And Johnny hit the nail on the head. They're really better than candy. I'm sure Mother'd be glad to make you a batch of Toasteroons, especially since they don't take any sugar at all. Or maybe you can even make them yourself if it's that easy.
And if you got any left over, send them to me, especially the ones with dates in them.
Now, why should any of the girls send you Toasteroons, Johnny? You refused to send that girl in Massachusetts your picture.
Well, she sends me some toasteroons. Maybe I'll send her my picture. Maybe.
Now, don't make any bargains. If you want Toasteroons, you ask your mother to make them for you.
Would you like another one, Mystery Man?
Oh, I certainly would. Thank you, Ruth.
Well, how about you, Johnny?
Does a fish like to swim?
Mystery Man,
Yes, Richard?
well, I was thinking that since we're sort of celebrating Halloween here at the House of Mystery today, you might be able to tell us how Halloween started. I tried to look it up in the encyclopedia last night, but I couldn't find very much about it. It just said that Halloween was originally called All Souls Day.
That's right. And then it became All Saints' Day, and finally, All Hallows' Day. A hallow, you see, is a saint. The word Halloween was originally Hallow Even, meaning the eve or night of All Hallows' Day.
Well, why are all the spooks supposed to come out on Halloween?
Well, that goes a long way back, Johnny, when people worshiped the sun because it gave heat and light and made things grow out of the ground. But then along about the middle of October each year, the sun lost some of its heat and the living things in the ground began to wither and die. And the superstitious people of the day believed that ghosts and goblins and witches were making this happen. And so they locked themselves in their houses until these supposedly lost souls, the ghosts and goblins, withered the grass and the leaves and then returned to the shades of darkness for another year. They didn't know much about the changes of seasons, and they blamed the evil spirits for bringing winter. In fact, that's one of the reasons we celebrate May Day on the 1st of May every year. It's the day when the good spirits supposedly come out and start things growing again. Well, of course, we know that it's the heat of the sun that really starts things growing, but centuries ago they didn't. And so now, all over the world, All Hallows Day and Halloween are celebrated in pretty much the same way.
Yeah, I see why. Well, do you know why everyone cuts faces and pumpkins and puts candles in them? Does that mean anything? Something?
Well, Richard, there are a number of explanations as to how the use of jack-o'-lanterns started. The Irish version is that a very stingy man named Jack was barred from heaven because of his stinginess. And because he played tricks on the devil, he was barred from hell, too. And so he found himself a lost soul on Halloween. Well, one night, he went into a field, hollowed out a pumpkin, cut some holes in it, and put a candle inside. And from then on, he wandered the earth carrying his lantern to light the way. And he came to be known as Jack of the Lantern or Jack-o'-lantern.
Oh, I never heard that before.
I believe that the custom of having huge bonfires on Halloween began in Scotland. The fires were supposed to burn the witches and evil spirits.
Some of the kids have a fire on our block every Halloween, but then the fire engines come and put it out.
Well, Halloween fires are dangerous things, especially in the city. You really don't need a fire to celebrate Halloween. There are so many other things you can do.
Some of the boys ring doorbells and mark everyone up with chalk.
Well, that's pretty harmless fun, but fires can sometimes be serious. I think the best way to celebrate Halloween is with a party like we're having. Play games and have good things to eat and maybe even tell a ghost story.
Are you going to tell us a ghost story? A real one?
What's a real ghost story, Johnny?
One about a ghost. I know there aren't any ghosts, but can't we just kind of make believe on account of it's Halloween?
Sure we can. Making believe is sometimes a lot of fun. Now, let's see. A real ghost story.
Something spooky.
Well, I know one. It's not really spooky. Or maybe it is. It's called The Ghost Who Forgot Halloween.
Oh, that ought to be good.
Would you like to hear it?
Oh, sure, yeah.
I would, too.
All right. Now, Johnny, you pull down the shades.
Okay.
And, Richard, you light the candle in the jack-o'-lantern so we can have the right ghostly atmosphere. Here's a match, Richard. Be careful.
Thank you.
That's fine. Now for the story of the ghost who forgot Halloween. Wilbur Kennesaw Smith was a ghost. He was named Wilbur after his great-grandfather, a very famous old ghost, who unfortunately was floating through the darkness one night when he got his sheet caught in a windmill, and that was the end of it. He was named Kennesaw after his uncle, who, sad to say, died of ghostly pneumonia while haunting an explorer at the North Pole. And he was named Smith because that was his father's name. Now, Wilbur, for the most part, was a happy, easygoing little ghost. His father and mother loved him dearly and were certain he'd grow up to be a very successful apparition. But Wilbur had one bad thought. He was always falling asleep.
I'm so tired. I'm always so tired.
Yes, Wilbur was always tired. He was tired at school and he was tired at play, and it worried his father and mother very much. Mother Ghost thought it was because he was a growing ghost, and that as he grew older, he wouldn't be tired anymore. But Wilbur seemed to grow more tired every day. Now, Wilbur went to school just like all boys and girls do, except that being a ghost, he went to school at night. And instead of learning reading and writing, he learned moaning and groaning. And instead of addition and subtraction, he learned appearing and disappearing. And lots of other things, too. Sheet flapping and chain rattling and plain and fancy haunting and floating on air and everything a ghost should know to be a really good ghost. But Wilbur's trouble was that he didn't pay attention in school. And the reason he didn't pay attention was that he was always sleepy. His teacher's name was Miss Spook, and sometimes she became very angry with him. One night in the classroom...
And now, class, I'm going to test you in moaning and groaning. Wilbur Kennesaw Smith. Wilbur Kennesaw Smith. Wilbur, don't you hear me?
Oh, yes, Miss Spook.
This is your final test in moaning and groaning, Wilbur. Go ahead. Moan for me. That, Wilbur, is a yawn, not a moan. Now moan. Oh, good heavens. Is that what you call a moan? Why, I wouldn't even frighten a caterpillar, let alone a human being. Now listen to me. This is a moan. There, you see? Now you try it, Wilbur. I said you try it. Wilbur, you're snoring. You're fast asleep.
Yes, Wilbur was fast asleep, floating over his desk. Well, Miss Spook didn't know what to do with Wilbur. She spoke to the principal of the school, Mr. Rattlebones, and he called Wilbur in for a little talk.
What seems to be the trouble, Wilbur?
Oh, trouble? There isn't any trouble.
Don't you get enough sleep in the daytime? Is that why you can't stay awake at night like every other ghost?
I sleep all day, but I'm still tired.
Well, Miss Spook tells me she can't possibly promote you unless you do better in class. And here it is, only 2 nights before Halloween. Promotion night. You don't want to be left back, do you?
No, Mr. Rattlebone.
You want to go out into the world and haunt people, don't you?
Yes, Mr. Rattlebone.
Well, you certainly don't seem to be trying very hard. You know, Wilbur, I was your father's teacher when he went to this school. Oh, he was a wonderful pupil. I remember when he took his final test in appearing and disappearing. Oh, I remember that very well. Your father, Wilbur, disappeared, and he didn't come back for 2 weeks.